Good afternoon from Alesha Brown, the Joy Guru. Yes, this time you get to see me in person. A lot of times I like to do audio because let's just be honest, I don't like to do makeup and be all dressed. Sometimes you get a motivation and you're not camera ready, but I'm camera ready. Currently, I'm in Indiana. I am being professionally kidnapped, as I like to say. So it's going to be about 3 days full of networking, laser training, business focus, all those wonderful things. But at the same time, I wanted to make sure that I just took out a few moments to speak with you this afternoon. One of the things I like about traveling, every time I fly, especially, there's just this aha moment for me. And it's always humbling. I always feel like if you just take that time to look at the clouds, if you have a window seat on your flight and you take the time to just look out in the clouds and just the awesomeness that is. Some people, sit there, it doesn't faze them, and to each his own. But I think there's some very pivotal lessons about business and flying and life in general. One of those is that, you know what? You can't say, you can't deny the power of God, that you're able to be completely suspended and free falling in the air, thousands of feet up in the air, and still you're able to meet your specified destination and hopefully in most cases you arrive safely. However, that's a risk. Things happen, we know. Things happen all the time. And that's how life is, that's how business is. But I wanted to come here today just to talk, especially for entrepreneurs. What is it that you need to let go of in 2018 for true success? Honestly, this should be something you've already thought about, but just in case it isn't, or just in case you need to review it one more time to tighten it up, this is the moment. And I think about it often. One of the things we do, we pursue our passions, we take that risk, and it pays off. Whether it's a small payoff, whether it's an emotional payoff, whatever the payoff is, it pays off. You learn quickly, hopefully you learn quickly, that failure's okay, and eventually if you keep moving, if you do something that didn't work, it didn't work the way you wanted it, you have the chance to keep perfecting it, and you learn what works for you, you learn what you like, you learn what you love to do, and then you learn how to make that work for you. And if you're very fortunate with enough time, with enough energy, you know what, you're able to be successful. But here's the thing. Sometimes, and this is personal life too, we get so caught up in that thing that we want to do that thing, we want to add something else, we want to add something else, we want to add something else, and it's like, wait a minute. Just did this one thing and you were successful and you can extend the brand, that's fine. Sometimes you're just adding too much and you need to let something go so you can continue to grow. Get that? I like that. I'm poetic. You need to let something go so you can continue to grow. But a lot of times, what we do, especially as entrepreneurs, we hold on to that thing. Some of us are so paralyzed, and don't ask me how I know, to even hire staff to take care of things. We want to do it all. Well, I've been doing that for years. I know how I like it. And if I do it, I know it's done right. You're killing your business. You're not only killing your business, but you're killing your growth going forward. So I just wanted to take that time today to say, what are you going to let go of for true success? That question was posed in my mind on the way over. I'm in Indianapolis. And, as I was taking the different flights and things, I always get these visions. I'm a creative person. So it's like, hey, 2018, we need to do this. Yeah, that would be great for the brand. And then it was like, you know what? What do you need to let go of? Not such an easy question. But it was a heart to heart moment. What do you really, things that you really love to do, but who do you need to hire? Who do you need to relinquish those services to, where you can be the visionary of that thing and make sure things are carried out properly, but you no longer are hands on? And here's why that's so important. Not only for your growth, but for the growth of those around you. There's someone that just is excellent in some of the areas that we're just holding on to. And if we would just release it to them, it would give them the opportunity to grow and walk in a spirit of excellence, and would relinquish us from these minuscule things that are just consuming our time, and we could go kill it at a whole nother level. We would not be so frustrated because we're bogged down by these things we don't really want to do, but we just keep doing them because we've done them so long and we don't know any other way. And the one thing I'll say from the entrepreneurial perspective of that, people go, well, I'll have to pay someone and my budget is like really lean. And I get it. But the one thing I always say is, you know what? It's going to stay that way until you relinquish some things. And, I'm not perfect at that either. It's something I have to keep telling myself over and over. But the truth is just the truth. The facts are just the facts. You can't argue with that. So that's one thing I wanted to just pop on and just give you that thought because, the one thing I like to remind people, there's so much more for us to do. There is. I don't care if whatever you're doing, you're awesome at it. You're making an impact. I just encourage you not to stay stuck because you can make an impact. If you're making an impact with 10 people, you can make an impact with 100. If you're making an impact with 100, you need to make an impact with 1,000. If you're making an impact with 1,000, what about 1,000,000? Whatever you're doing well, don't pigeonhole that. Is there a new way you need to do that? And I know I talk a lot about business because I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a CEO, but this applies to life a lot of times as well. What is it that you're doing that you are just excellent at? Or even that's something you just love to do. And when you think about that thing, sometimes we ask people, if you had all the time in the world, what would you do? People typically have no problem answering that question. But when you say, why do you do it? Why don't you do it? There's a whole list of why. If you learn to ask yourself in that same space, what is it that I need to let go of so I can do more of that? Then yeah, we can start finding more time. We can find more financial resources. But at some point, you're going to have to let it go. The baby has to grow. You've done a great job. You've nurtured the baby. You gave birth to the baby. Kudos for giving birth. You gave birth. You released that thing. You stopped holding it as an idea or a vision or a passion, and you actually start walking that passion out. You did what it required. You took the risk. You took that leap of faith, and you got the ball rolling. You gave birth. So stop trying to keep the baby in utero. The baby is out and the baby has to grow up. If the baby stays 6 months for 16 years, the baby is sick. It's something wrong with that. So don't hold your business, don't hold your personal life, don't hold your vision. Stop keeping all of these things in the infant stage. Yes, your baby is pretty. Your baby is healthy. But your baby is screaming, I want to grow up now. I'm tired of you treating an 8-year-old like I'm 8 months old. I can feed myself. I can walk for myself. I can dress myself. I can talk for myself. I can make decisions for myself. So take that time in different areas of your life, business, relationships, visions, purposes, whatever it is, and ask yourself, what do I need to let go of so I can grow, so I can expand, so I can do more of what I love instead of feeling stuck and under this high, in this pressure cooker where I feel like I'm trapped and I'm on this wheel just doing all these great things. I love what I do, but I can't breathe. I have too much. It's too much responsibility. And, take those steps. And as always, Alesha Brown, the Joy Guru, Alesha Brown, LLC. I'm an empowerment accountability coach, so I love to work with you and crack the whip. You can ask clients, I do crack the whip with a smile. But I love to work with you. I love to just make sure you're reaching that target. I have a lot of things that are coming up for those people that are in the Hampton Roads area with me. But you know what? I'm open. Some of my coaching sessions we do virtually. So that's cool. We can set up virtual things. But for all of that information and to contact me, just go to thejoyguru.net. I'm always here to help you. I think that's so important. The thing that we have an issue with, that we try to do everything ourselves, and you can't do that. Again, let's take the example of the baby. Even the baby can't do everything alone. That's why you have periods where you feed it, you nurture it, you train it, you teach it. And even though you're an adult, the same thing is true of your business. The same thing is true in other areas of your life. There has to be training. There has to be teaching. There has to be assistance. And it never changes. If you want to build an empire that's this small, okay, once you do that, you want it this big. Well, now we need another set of training and instructions, because you got it for when it was small like this, but then when it's gigantuan like this, what do I do now? That old information doesn't work for right now. You need to regroup. You need something else. So I'm one of those people that love to help you. As you can tell, like I said, I'm in Indianapolis, Indiana. I believe in investing in my business, because if I don't do that, I cheat my clients. So to me, that's very important. And it's very important to make those connections for my clients. I believe that as a leader, people will never go higher than where you go. So if you're going to lead people, you have to set the example, and you continually have to grow yourself. You continually have to grow your business. And that doesn't mean that every week you're doing something new. That's not growth. You don't sell appliances this week, and I'm trying to sell you weight loss products next week, and then the week after that, I'm trying to sell you t-shirts. You can be a person of many talents, but you need to be very clear what you specialize in and what you're helping people to do. It's not always about changing the brand and changing this to make money. It's about what do you do and who are your people that you need to be doing that to. But just wanted to pop in and do a quick little inspirational checkpoint with you, because like I said, every time I fly, it's just a certain space between me and God that it does something to me. It just touches me like no other. And not only do I get like the best business ideas on my flights, but I also get the best self checks. And there's that question: what do we need to let go of in this season? What do we need to adjust? What do we need to tweak? And I continually ask myself, I have things on my phone sometimes daily. Are you doing what you love? Not you enjoy it. Are you still doing what you love, and are you doing what you purpose to do? Because sometimes we get so caught up in the doing that we forget the being. We forget that natural process when you just walk according to your calling. We forget about that. So sometimes we're so busy checking the list and I'm doing this, but are you meeting the mission? Are you doing what you set out to do? Is it time to tweak things? Is it time to change some things? And that is something, especially in business, but really in life, we need to check all the time. And we need to have accountability people to help us. That's one of the reasons I offer accountability coaching, because I can give you the best advice ever, but if there's no one there to make you accountable, if there's no one there checking in on you, if there's no one there giving you resources, you'll do what most of us do. Great information. I got all this stuff in my head. I don't implement anything. That's epic failure. You're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, you're wasting your energy. And I don't like anyone to come in my presence. Definitely don't like anyone to be my client, and you're wasting time. You know, there's other people that don't care. They'll just take your money, but I care. I want to make sure that you're executing, and I want to make sure you're meeting the mission, because I know every person has assigned people to them who need you to show up. They need you to rise up. They need you to be present, and they need you to be walking in your calling, delivering it, executing, and giving them the help and resources that they need. So, enough of that right now. I have a billion things to do before I am professionally kidnapped for this 3 day excursion. And then I have to come right back to Hampton, Virginia to hit the ground running with a plethora of events. Some of them I'm even missing at this moment. But I just hope you have a joy-filled day. Feel free to share this video out. Also, like I said, for some of the services and programs, and even if you just need help with something, you can always contact me directly. There's a contact field at thejoyguru.net. I will answer those questions. There's a part for email, so it'll go straight to the business email, and I definitely will answer that question for you. But have a joy-filled day, and remember, in order for you to grow, there are certain things you have to let go. Be blessed.